from Royal Communications Incorporated. A pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to King's Newsroom. 45 minutes of aggregated matters, incredible news about Liberia and the rest of our one world. Today's Tuesday, September 30, 2025. Story topping the headlines this afternoon. Former House Speaker Fondati Kofa files a 4.5 million United States dollars lawsuit against the Bogonjira group of companies for alleged defamation of character. House of Representatives summoned Public Works Minister Roland Giddens to appear before its leadership to provide clarity on the ongoing demolition exercise in District Number 17, Montserrat County. Government of Liberia announces its readiness to begin construction of a 40-kilometer road linking Tapeta to Zweju. The government, through the Public Works Ministry, says the project is scheduled to commence during the upcoming dry season. Away from home, South Sudan court rejects ex-VP's bid to halt murder and treason trial. And Madagascar president dissolves government after Gen Z's protest. The news bulletin Voices of the Newsmakers are all packaged in this edition of the program. We take a very short break to be right back. Former House Speaker Fondati Kofa has filed a lawsuit against Bogonjira Group of Companies and its Chief Executive Officer, Elton Jones, seeking 4.5 million United States dollars in defamation for damages, economic loss, and emotional distress. Filed at the Civil Law Court, Montserrat County, the suit accuses their defendants of spreading defamatory and malicious falsehoods intended to damage Kofa's professional reputation and economic relationships. According to the complaint, Kofa alleges that the defendants made false public statements that suggested he'd engaged in financial misconduct and dishonesty, which severely injured his public and professional standing. The statements were made with actual malice and reckless disregard for the truth, the complaint notes. Councillor Kofa claims that the executive director or executive chief of the Bogonjira group of companies remarks recently ridiculed him publicly and led to a significant loss of reputation and professional esteem, both locally and internationally. Elton Jones, the second defendant, is specifically accused of making direct references to Kofa with the intention of humiliating and economically harming him. Councillor Kofa further in his complaint that he had video and audio recordings to support his claim. The suit outlines in damages 4 million United States dollars in special damages representing loss of business relationships and economic benefits, and 500,000 United States dollars in general damages for pain, suffering, and economic distress. The lawsuit, filed through International Law Group legal team, requested that the defendants be held jointly and separately liable, meaning each defendant could be responsible for the entire judgment. The House of Representatives has summoned Public Works Minister Roland Giddens to appear before its leadership to provide clarity on the ongoing demolition exercise in District Number 17, Montserrat County. According to the release issued Monday, the House of Representatives says the decision was prompted by former communication from Montserrat County District 17 Representative Bernard Blue Benson informing the House about a 30-day demolition notice recently issued to residents of Free Vibe community. The government decision through the Ministry of Public Works has sparked concern among residents and lawmakers, with many criticizing the decision. Meanwhile, Representative Benson, through his communication, highlighted the prefab community has existed for more than 45 years and is home to over 25,000 residents. He added that the area includes houses or churches, schools, mosques, clinics, and more than 100 residential structures. Benson further emphasized that while infrastructure development is necessary, the well-being and rights of citizens must remain a top government priority. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Public Works, has announced a biodiversity conducted for the construction of a 40-kilometer road connecting Tapeta to Zwedio. In the statement issued Monday, the ministry says the road project is considered vital for improving connectivity in southeastern Liberia, where access to transportation remains limited. It noted that biodiversity study is a significant step towards ensuring that the road construction aligns with environmental protection standards. According to the ministry, it is working out modalities including logistical planning, resource mobilization, and contractor engagement to ensure that the project is implemented. The ministry also emphasized its commitment to begin actual construction works of the project during the upcoming dry season. The charges the affairs of the United States Embassy near Monrovia, Ambassador Sadronzi, over the weekend met with Dr. Linda Beach, CEO of the John F. Kennedy Hospital, and her team for a tour of the facility. The John F. Kennedy Referral Hospital, according to a release from the U.S. Embassy, stated that the JFK was founded in 1917 with support under former President John F. Kennedy and is now managed by Liberia. The release noted that the visit included a stop at the U.S.-Liberia Partnership for Research on Vaccines and Infectious Diseases in Liberia with a collaborative research program, conducts clinical trials and studies on diseases of mutual concerns contributing to global public health policy, vaccines, and therapies. The embassy release added that the tour also highlighted recent U.S. government and preview contributions to diagnostics at the National Referral Hospital, including Imaging Center, accompanied by colleagues from the U.S. National Institutes of Health and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The release further that the U.S. Embassy charged the affairs during the visit saw firsthand and vital work that the two nations are doing together to improve clinical services and to prevent and manage infectious diseases. Former President George Weah has broken silence on the recent fire at his 9th Street residence in Monrovia, crediting his wife, Claire Marie Weah, for a decision that may have saved their lives. Speaking over the weekend during a service at the Foke Clon Jade Family Fellowship Church, the former Liberian leader expressed gratitude to God for what he describes as divine protection. Weah, who served as Liberia's president from 2018 to 2024, said the recent incident is not the first time fire has threatened his property. He recalled a previous incident when he was allegedly forced to flee as flames engulfed the house. The cause of the September 24 blaze remains unclear, as the Liberia National Fire Service confirmed it was alerted at 12:48 a.m. and has quickly dispatched units from the station one, later joined by backup teams and an ambulance. However, investigators say they were later denied access to conduct a full post-fire assessment. The Coalition for Democratic Change has described the fire as a national security concern. The party, through its national chairman, Councillor Ataninjanga Core, said the flames destroyed the former president's bedroom and called for an independent international forensic investigation. The incident occurred just days after the former president returned to Liberia, where he was graced and greeted by jubilant supporters. The commander of the Crime Services Division of the Grand Bazaar Detachment, Sophie Maston, has been accused of insulting journalists who were reportedly seeking information about criminal activities in the county. It can be recalled over the weekend tensions escalated at the police headquarters in Buchanan when journalists went there to make inquiry about a lady identified as Ruth Nimlin, who has been accused of stealing 2.5 million Liberian dollars. According to eyewitnesses, the commander verbally abused journalists during their visit, thus raising serious concern about press freedom and the treatment of citizens seeking answers from law enforcement officers. The situation, according to eyewitnesses, got worsened at as CDS reportedly sprayed tear gas to disperse both journalists and a group of women who gathered at the police headquarters demanding justice over their stolen Susu funds. Meanwhile, community members and media institutions are calling for an immediate investigation into the alleged act by the Grand Bassa County Police Commander of the Crime Services Division of Grand Bassa County. The Supreme Motorcyclist Transport Union of Liberia has criticized the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Transport for launching what it describes as controversial and unfair motorcycle re-registration exercise. Speaking to reporters, the UN President Chokon Gray expressed deep dissatisfaction with the process, calling it an embarrassment to thousands of motorcycle riders nationwide. He argued that instead of supporting young people and creating new jobs opportunities, the Bwaka Kong administration is attempting to dismantle what he termed as self-created jobs that have empowered many Liberian youths. Gray further accused the government of reducing motorcyclists from being job creators to struggling street vendors and phone credit sellers. He claimed that such actions undermine the aspirations of young Liberians who have relied on commercial riding as a means of survival and economic independence. The Supreme Motorcyclist Transport Union of Liberia leader added that any attempt by the Ministry of Transport to invite him for dialogue on the current conditions may provoke a response that could result in his imprisonment. The officer in charge of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Deputy Commissioner of Police Fajaro Biako, has held a one-day citizens engagement over the weekend in Grand Bassa County, which focused on combating illicit drug use in Liberia. During the meeting, Biako emphasized the importance of community involvement in the fight against drugs, particularly in protecting the youth, who he describes as the future leaders of the nation. According to him, if citizens do not safeguard the young people, they are at risk leaving the country in the hands of foreigners rather than nurturing their own citizens to take over leadership roles. Biako urged community members to collaborate with the LDA by reporting instances of illicit drug use and trafficking in their neighborhoods. He stressed that collective efforts are essential for achieving a drug-free Liberia, highlighting that citizens' engagement is crucial in addressing drug abuse. In another development, the LDA officers in charge disclosed that an investigation is underway concerning the Grand Bassa County commander of the LDA following multiple complaints from citizens regarding alleged corruption. At the same time, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency has received a significant logistical boost with the government donation of 15 new vehicles to support the agency's ongoing fight against illicit drugs across the country. The fleet, comprising 12 Toyota pickups, 2 Toyota Land Cruisers, and 1 Toyota Frontrunner, is expected to enhance the LDA's mobility, efficiency, and visibility in communities most affected by drug crises. According to authorities, the donation reflects the government's commitment to strengthening law enforcement institutions and providing the tools necessary to effectively tackle Liberia's escalating drug problem. Speaking at the handover ceremony, officials described the initiative as a decisive step towards building a safer and drug-free Liberia. They emphasized that the improved logistics will enable the agency to expand operations and increase its impact nationwide. The National Port Authority has reaffirmed its commitment to education and national development by making a major intervention at the University of Liberia. At the high-level meeting Monday, September 29, the president of the University of Liberia, Dr. Lilia Mapayan, held talks with the managing director of the National Port Authority, Honorable Sekou Dukli, at the National Port Authority headquarters in Monrovia. During the meeting, Honorable Dukli announced that the NPA will provide an initial contribution of 25,000 United States dollars for the procurement of chairs to ease the long-standing shortage of seating at the University of Liberia. The NPA boss further assured that the authority will mobilize the wider business community and its partners to raise additional resources in the support of the university needs. In response, the University of Liberia president Dr. Mapoyan praised the NPA for what she described as a timely and transformatory gesture. She expressed that the intervention provides not only immediate relief but also sends a long signal that education remains central to Liberia's progress. To this development now, in a growing controversy and criticism within judiciary following the appointment of the Chief Justice Nyame Kwekwe son as associate magistrate by George Nancy Samin, president of the National Association of Trial Judges of Liberia. Chief Justice Bwezi challenged George Samin to produce any legal authority, constitutional statutory, that prohibits a sitting Chief Justice from recommending a qualified individual, including a relative, for judicial appointment. Speaking during a judicial gathering in Lofa County over the weekend, Chief Justice Bwezi strongly defended his son's appointment, dismissing concerns raised by the trial jury's president as legally biased and baseless. He emphasized that his son is a Liberian citizen currently enrolled at the Louis Attergram School of Law, implying that these qualifications meet the threshold required for judicial appointment at the magisterial level. In response, George Samin expressed regret over the fact that her confidential letter to the Chief Justice has been leaked to the public, which she says exacerbated the situation and gave the impression of internal conflict within the judiciary. George Samin responded firmly, clarifying that her husband has served in the role for 18 years before she became a judge, and his position has no bearing on her judicial responsibility. The news bulletin will take a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the voices of the news makers. Many thanks for being there and welcome back. Indeed, if you just joining us, a reminder you are in tune to King's Newsroom, 45 minutes of reliable and factual news about Liberia and the rest of our one world. Today's development now. Former President George Weah has broken silence on the recent fire at his 9th Street residence in Monrovia, crediting his wife Clyde Marie Weah for a decision that may have saved their lives. Speaking over the weekend during a service at the Foke Clone Jale Family Fellowship Church, the former Liberian leader expressed gratitude to God for what he described as divine protection. Weah, who served as Liberia's president from 2018 to 2024, said the recent incident is not the first time fire has threatened his property. He recalled a previous incident when he was allegedly forced to flee as flames engulfed the house. Here now is former President George Weah.
We got here, the Western. Today, you and I are sleeping in Riyadh, whether ready or not. And I agree with her. They say you don't need to say A. Anywhere you want to see, you want to go, I'll follow you. I wanted to know the decision we took and I followed. And my son with me at 12, up to 12 in someone called me that my house was burning on that street. And I said to God, glory be to God, it would have been worse. We would have been sleeping there and the fire of the night. So you can see, I listened to the preacher today. We come to church not for people. We come to church to glorify God.
Former President George Weah there speaking. The commander of the Crime Services Division of Grand Baza Sophie Maston has been accused of insulting journalists who were reportedly seeking information about criminal activities in the county. It can be recalled over the weekend tensions escalated at the police headquarters in Buchanan when journalists went there to make inquiry about a lady identified as Ruth Nimlin, who has been accused of stealing 2.7 million Liberian dollars. According to eyewitnesses, the commander verbally abused the journalists during their visit, thus raising serious concern about press freedom and the treatment of citizens seeking answers from law enforcement officers. The situation, according to eyewitnesses, got worsened as CSD reportedly sprayed tear gas to disperse both journalists and a group of women who gathered at the police headquarters demanding justice over their stolen Susu funds.
Yeah, we are member of the press. Hey, my man. When they invite you, you are member of the
Highlight there of our tensions in Grand Bassa County when the Crime Services Division of Grand Bassa Sophie's Maston commander at the center has been accused of insulting journalists who reportedly were seeking information about criminal activities in the county. The Supreme Motorcyclist Transport Union of Liberia has criticized the government through the Ministry of Transport for launching what it describes as controversial and unfair motorcycle re-registration exercise. Speaking of reporters, UN President Chokon Gray expressed deep dissatisfaction with the process, calling it an embarrassment to thousands of motorcycle riders nationwide. He argued that instead of supporting young people and creating new jobs opportunities, the Boycott administration is attempting to dismantle what he termed as self-created jobs that have been empowered or that have empowered many Liberian youths. Gray further accused the government of reducing motorcyclists from being job creators to struggling street vendors and phone credit sellers. He now is the motorcycles president.
Supreme Motorcycle Transport Union of Liberia condemned the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Transport for unfair bag registration, forcing bag dealers before it can be sold and cycling to redo their registration. We are being banned from using the road. Fellow motorcyclists, keke riders, the press, one and all. Let me further state categorically clear that at no time the government of Liberia invited me, my institution, to a meeting and asked me to convince my police to redo their bag registration for the ban being this year or due to construction of Chinese overpass bridge. If any meeting of that nature is called and government express such evil attempt, I will leave that meeting. I will not leave that meeting without being placed in prison because my response to the government may not be good. We are not stupid.
The officer in charge of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Deputy Commissioner of Police Fazjara Biako, has held a one-day citizen engagement over the weekend in Grand Bassa County to focus on combating illicit drug use in the country. During the meeting, Biako emphasized the importance of community involvement in the fight against drugs, particularly in protecting the youth, who he described as the future leaders of the nation. According to him, if citizens do not safeguard the young people, they are at risk leaving the country in the hands of foreigners rather than nurturing their own citizens to take over leadership roles.
And right after that, I had a short meeting with the LDA people at their office. And I told the LDA commander that if I leave, if ghetto exists in Grand Bassa, there's no need to be here. The minute we took over, there should be no ghetto. There should be no ghetto exist. The first step is no ghetto should exist in Liberia.
And Grand Basso is part of Liberia. We got FDA personnel being paid by taxpayer money. And they are here, they're not putting drugs, and they're not busting ghetto, and people are in the ghetto, and they are sheltering people in the ghetto. They are no need to be here. We'll bring new team. I get them 1 week. Y'all show up. Y'all show up. Why are the ghetto out? Y'all say Lagos ghetto. And the police commander, why come to that? The police commander will supervise the operation in the next 1 week, along with the DA. The regional commander is here. They will join operation together. I other men, the white shirt with the dark shade, that be men to police. Guys,
He is the officer in charge of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Fazjaro Biako. They're speaking in Grand Bassa County. Residents of District Number 1 in Maserati County have joined government officials, security agencies, and civil society actors officially to launch the Say No to Drugs campaign. The initiative, spearheaded by the Patriots of Drug-Free Communities, marks a significant grassroots step in Liberia's ongoing battle against drug abuse and trafficking. The launch drew strong participation from the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the Liberia National Police, and the Office of Montserrat County District 1 Representative Ruki Barry. Speaking at the symbolic launch over the weekend, Madam Pauline Zaza, acting chairperson of the Patriots of Drug-Free Communities, said the campaign marks the beginning of a movement, not just a campaign, but a movement of recovery, prevention, empowerment, and hope. She added that the black and white t-shirts symbolize peace and unity, are done with white paint to represent the shared pain caused by substance abuse, adding that the Patriots express a vision centered on rehabilitation, vocational training, and reintegration for individuals in recovery.
On behalf of the Patriots of Drugs-Free Community, I want to welcome all of you, our partners, community members, you people, law enforcers, religious leaders, advocates to this important event. Today marks a new chapter in our collective effort to fight harmful impact of illicit drugs in our communities. For too long, drugs have been silently destroying families, stolen the potentials of youth, and undermine the future of our nation. But today, we raise and just in protest, but in purpose. We are here not only to raise awareness, but to initiate a movement of recovery, of prevention, and of hope. We are saying no to drugs, not just with our voices, but with our actions. And we are declaring that our community will no longer be silent victims of drug abuse. This campaign is not just for those already affected, but for every young person who deserves a future free from addiction, for every family that wants peace in their homes, and for every recovering addict who needs a second chance. So the current and former users who are with us today, we see you, we support you, we need work this journey with you. Our campaign includes pathways to rehabilitation, vocational skills, regeneration, and dignity. You are not alone. To the youth of Maserati County District Number 1, you are greatest resource. Say no to drugs today. Say yes to education, purpose, and brighter future. Stay away from that first high because time could be the beginning of a lifetime pain. And the government of Liberia, the DEA, the Liberian National Police, and all stakeholders, we are presenting our petition not in protest but in partnership. We ask for stronger enforcement, better rehabilitation services, and consistent community engagement. We are ready to work with you.
Making remarks on behalf of Representative Barry, or Special Assistant Garrison Kerwilliam, called for an urgent collective responsibility and action in what he describes as a community-level war against drugs. He said Representative Barry, who was on an official duties in Nimba County, reaffirmed through her office commitment to the campaign and pledged to meet with organizers upon her return.
Honorable Barry asked me to be able to deliver this message to you. She's presently in Nimba on some national duty. That's the reason why she's not here. But because of the importance of this program, she asked the office to be fully represented. This fight of drugs is not the LDA's fight. It's not a soup fight. I'm somehow a little disappointed because I believe the organizers of this program were able to communicate to all the communities across District 1. This program is about District 1. It's not just Blacktown, it's not just Fennel, it's not just Calfee, it's not just Carisburg. It covers District 1. But how many community leaders that we see here today? When the drugs activity starts, it starts from the house, the homes of the community. It gets to the community before it even starts to spread across. But today, it's almost like it's the organizer thing. So we are not part of it. When the negative effects start to come, then they start to call on LDA, they start to call on community leaders and other things. They should be able to take this whole fight in their hands. The only way we can be able to make an impact in society against drugs is to fight it holistically. By you sitting and allowing the DEA alone, the DEA will not be everywhere all the time. The office of the representative will not be everywhere all of the time. The soup, they will not be everywhere all of the time. The ghettos are within the community. The community dwellers know the ghettos. They give houses to the dealers. They are aware. They keep these secrets. At the end of the day, they say they want to fight drugs. It becomes difficult for everyone to be able to do it. Honorable Barry stand by the organizing committee. The moment she gets back next week, she's going to call you people. I will communicate directly to be able to call you people that the trickle-down effect of what the people have started will be felt within the community.
Also, in remarks, Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency Deputy Director for Operation Patrick Kamazu pledged the agency's full support to the citizens under the banner Patriots of Drug-Free Communities. According to Kamazu, drugs is a pandemic that affects family, communities, and ultimately the future of the country, noting that the LDA cannot win the battle against drugs alone.
On behalf of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, who was told of this occasion, we are asking you to come and give you these few words. And we have received your petition. We appreciate you a whole lot for this organization. It is our business to ensure that we all collaborate and ensure that we fight the issue of drugs here in Liberia. Let me appreciate the government of Liberia for affording us the opportunity to serve. Serving humanity is good. It's good to serve. And so, as we all know, this drug epidemic is of concern to every one of us, the national government and even the citizens. And so, we all have to put together to ensure that we fight this drug issue. We have intensified our patrols. We have been out there ensuring we demolish those physical ghettos in various communities. And we are simultaneously doing these activities alongside our community engagement, such as this. This is a good initiative for having us here to speak briefly. So we are also ensuring that we form intelligence. We are formulating intelligence, ensuring that they partner with us to give us those required information needed so as to go after those drug traffickers. We intend to dismantle the network and make Liberia a drug-free country. And just of recent, as you may be aware, there have been a lot of arrests being made
from the Cape Mount Belt, the northern part of Liberia, where we have intensified our sessions of vehicles coming from our neighboring country. And so we have also ensured we create network whereby we'll receive information, and now those information are going to be kept anonymous. Then we're going to work after those information to go after those drugs dealers and traffickers. So same should be done in this place, as I was saying to my commander. There should be a continuous engagement. Community engagement should be continuous. There should be organization of community meetings, and then all of those meetings should be attended by our officers and our supervisors in this locale. This fight should be every one of us fight. We have to save the future generation of this country so as to ensure that our country is peaceful, and so that we can have people who are going to be taking after us. We shall have left the scene or the arena of security, and we should have lawyers, we should have representatives and instructors and professors. We should have them coming up, and then not a society that will be taken over by drugs.
He is the Deputy Director for Operations at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Patrol Komazu. Earlier, you listened to the Special Assistant in the Office of Representative Ruki Barry, Garrison William, and the Chairperson of the Say No to Drug campaign, Pictures of Drug-Free Communities Chairperson, Madam Pauline Zaza. In a growing controversy and criticism within the judiciary following the appointment of Chief Justice Nyamin Bweze's sons as Associate Magistrate by George Nancy Sami, President of the National Association of Trial Judges, Chief Justice Bweze has challenged Judge Sami to provide any legal authority, constitutional statutory, that prohibits assisting Chief Justice from recommending a qualified individual, including a relative, for judicial appointment. Speaking during a judicial gathering in Lofa County over the weekend, Chief Justice Bweze strongly defended his son's appointment, dismissing concerns raised by trial Georgia's president as legally baseless. He emphasized that his son is a Liberian citizen who currently enrolled at the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law, implying that these qualifications meet the threshold required for judicial appointments at the magistrate level.
2 weeks ago, I recommended some magistrates to the president. Most of them were law school graduates, and a few of them were not law school graduates. Among the magistrates is my son, basically, he just completed second year law school, just entered a third year. The president of Liberia appointed these people. I received a letter for honor, capacity as a president, that the president has appointed nominal lawyer as a spindle magistrate and associate magistrate, and that was wrong, and that they wanted to intervene, advise the president. Next on Facebook, I saw the press release issue. I appointed his son, who is not a lawyer, as a spindle magistrate. And the judge. So I got friends all over the world. Everybody what? I said, well, thank God. I'm going to where her honor is. First and foremost, the law, the constitution of the country gave power to the president to appoint all presidential appointees. He doesn't have to get advice from anybody. But when it comes to the judiciary, you appoint the chief justice, associate justice, judges, magistrates, and associate magistrates. But when it comes to magistrates, the law says the supplementary magistrate shall be a graduate of law school. So if the president appoints anybody who is not a graduate of law school, I, as a chief justice, will respectfully go to the limits of president. They want you error. They just require law school graduate. But when it comes to associate magistrate, there is nothing in the law. The law is absolutely silent. And you must know as lawyer that what the law does not give, it holds. Meaning that the president of Liberia has authority to appoint anybody as an associate magistrate. And the lady said to me, I don't see one person that the president appointed as supplementary magistrate who is not a lawyer. But the 4 or 5 persons who were appointed as associate magistrate who are not a lawyer, that's what they put it. My son needs a second. My son is aged, he's a Liberian, he is in law school, and I nominated to the president, and the president sees fit to appoint him. I do not see anything wrong with that, madam. Your Honor, I don't see anything wrong with that. The president is not wrong. He has not violated the law, so I cannot intervene, I cannot advise. Besides that, we still got magistrates who are not even high school graduates who are still on judicial payroll. The fact that we decided we train college graduates to be associate magistrate because we cannot afford to get lawyers now, did not take the power from the president to appoint associate magistrate. And since the law did not say that it must be a law school graduate, he has the authority to do so. That's my interpretation of the law.
He's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, Chief Justice Nyamin Weze. They're speaking. Away from home now, the special court in South Sudan has ruled that it does not have the jurisdiction to prosecute suspended Vice President Riek Machar and 7 court accused who are charged with murder, treason, and crimes against humanity. The court dismissed all objections by Machar's legal team regarding its authority, the constitutionality of the proceedings, and the claim that he was immune from prosecution. The case will continue on Wednesday. Machar has dismissed the charges brought against him 2 weeks ago as a political witch hunt. They have raised fears of return to civil war, according to him. The charges stem from an attack in March by a militia allegedly linked to Machar, who killed 250 soldiers and a general. And Madagascar's president has said he will dissolve his government following days of youth-led protests over long-standing water and power cuts. According to the president, they acknowledge and apologize if members of the government have not carried out the tasks assigned to them. According to him, the so-called Gen Z protests have seen thousands of young people and demonstrators take to the streets in cities across Madagascar since Monday on the rallying cry, "We want to live and survive." The UN's human rights chief condemned the unnecessary force used by security forces to curb the arrest and said that at least 22 people have been killed and 100 others injured. To end this news here once again is our top stories. Former House Speaker Fanati Kofan files a 4.5 million United States dollars lawsuit against the Bogongila group of companies for alleged defamation of character. House of Representatives summons Public Works Minister Roland Giddens to appear before its leadership to provide clarity on the ongoing demolition exercise in District Number 17, Montserrat County. Government of Liberia announces its readiness to begin construction of a 40-kilometer road linking Tapeta to Zweju. The government, through the Public Works, says the project is scheduled to commence during the upcoming dry season. Of the home front, South Sudan court rejects ex-VP's bid to halt murder and treason trial, and Madagascar president dissolves government after Gen Z's protests. Many thanks to all of our contributors, editors, and reporters who help in making this edition of King's Newsroom our sources. For more news and information on this station, join us at 6 p.m. this evening for another edition of the program. On behalf of the entire team, my name is Cornelius Johnson. Many thanks for listening and watching. Good afternoon.